Hello, beautiful human. How are you today? Oh, today I have a good theme. I think you're gonna love it. It's when you don't know what are your talents, gifts and talents, and you think that they should be obvious or maybe not, and you have no clue what your gifts and talents are all about. So today I'm gonna give you a lot of great tips. Okay, let's start. First things first, your talents, gifts and talents, are the things that you do the very best with the least amount of effort. Steve Harvey says that all the time. If you know him, you know that he talks about this all the time. So basically, it's almost like you do it unconsciously, you know what I mean? Because it's so easy that you do it unconsciously. They can be found, this is the first tip, in moments where you have to take action without thinking too much about it, or when you're very depressed and you want to get out of depression and get out of the black hole that you put yourself in and come out back to the light. When you want to feel better, when you're feeling sick, when you're feeling heartbroken, anytime that you have to feel better or do something out of impulse, your gifts and talents are going to be the first thing to show up for you. So I know people who, for example, would put makeup on and do a lot of art in their face when they were depressed, people who will cook, people who surf, people who sing. So each one does a different thing to feel better. This is already a very clear, obvious way of finding your gifts and talents. The second way is that you have to get to know yourself. You have to see what you like, what you don't like, because many times you were so conditioned that you were never even exposed to the thing that you like to do the most, because people have always put you in a box and demanded you to be so perfect that you don't even know the things that you like. So self-discovery is one of the greatest tools for you to discover what are your gifts and talents. Why? Because when you get to know yourself, you introduce you to yourself and you learn the things that are unacceptable, that you love, that you hate, that it kind of, I don't really care about, or oh my god, I would live for it. So self-discovery is something very important, and let me give you a very big heads up. You cannot self-discover yourself if you're surrounded by people who don't want you to be yourself. So this has to be a very particular journey, and if people around you are pushing you to be something that you're not, unfortunately you're gonna have to find time out away from them, or go travel somewhere, or do something where you are alone and not surrounded by jerks that don't want you to be yourself. One of the biggest problems that forbid people to find their gifts and talents is that people usually think, in this crazy brain of ours, in this crazy society of ours, that it has to be something very difficult, very hard, that you have to struggle to find it, a very heavy burden, and the biggest mistake of all, that it has to be something so grand that it transforms you into a freaking legend, a celebrity, someone famous. Oh, you want to kill these witches to tell her that you think your talent has to make you famous. Oh, I want to die. No, it has to make you great, not famous. One thing has nothing to do with the other. There are crazy ass people who have absolutely no talent and they are celebrities. So please don't confuse things, because the people want to kill me when they say this. I want to die. But anyway, something that I have to tell you also is that when you go searching for yourself, many people want to search for themselves and self-discover themselves so that they can manipulate themselves into becoming what they desire, or what people tell them that they have to be. So this is a huge problem, because they search for themselves, trying to fix and control and box it and organize it differently and transforming it into something that they were never meant to be. And this is a huge problem nowadays, a huge problem. So I'm telling you, please be curious, please be explorative, and be willing to be surprised. Use your willpower to observe, to be surprised, to be curious about who you are, instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to discover what happens here inside myself, because then I'll be able to control my mind, and then I'll be able to transform myself into that Barbie doll picture like lady that I saw on Instagram. Don't do that. Don't do that. You were born to be yourself, not the Barbie looking girl on Instagram, okay? And you were put here for a reason, and if you don't look Barbie like, I also don't. There is a reason for that. So be willing to be surprised and be willing to discover yourself, to embrace it and not to make it something different than it is today. Cool? Okay, now I'm gonna teach you the gift discovering checklist. Let's call it like that. And I'm gonna read it because if I try to say it by heart, I will forget something because I'm really fired up. So I'm gonna read it, okay? Don't be mad at me. The first one is identify your gifts by observing what you do the very best with the least amount of effort. Stop with this bullshit that I hear all the time, people saying, I'm not good at anything, I'm not good for anything, I'm not worth anything, I can't say that I'm good at anything because otherwise I'm gonna be arrogant. Shut up. Shut up. Breathe. And now tell me what you're good at. Because otherwise I'm gonna be very angry. This witch is gonna lose her shit. So you tell me what you're good at, and don't come to me with this I'm not good at anything crap, because otherwise you wouldn't even be alive. Why do you think God put you here? Why? To just be here being a martyr and crying all around and weeping every time someone says good morning? No, it brought you here to be someone very dignified and someone very good at what they do. So come on, raise your glass for yourself and just tell me what you're good at. The second is an answer that you have to answer very carefully, so think about it before you answer. I'm gonna read it so that it's even more clear, okay? What would you like to do with this gift? How big would you like the gift to be? What proportion? Would you like to expand it or keep it small? Would you like others to know about it, or would you like to be something just personal? And how would you like to use it? This is an important question. How would you like to use the thing that you do very well with very little effort? And let me tell you, this is very important because it's your gift. You can use it as you please. You can want it to be very small, or you can want it to be very big. And if in the middle of the way you change your mind, you can bring it back and transform it into something little again. The third one is answer intentionally. Intentionally. Listen to your heart. How can you perfect it? How can you make it better? And how can you be better at it? So how can you perfect this gift to make it bigger? Why? Because your gift is always something very simple that expands. The fourth, answer from your heart. Put your hand in your heart so that you can focus all your attention there and answer. How can you be of service? How can your gift serve something greater than you? How can the collective benefit from your gift? What is trying to come through your gift right now? And later, what you can do is that you can make a list with all the steps that you have to take to make your gift grow as much as you want. If you want it small, you don't have to do that. If you want it to be bigger than it is today, you do that. Make a list with all the steps and compromise. Promise yourself that you're gonna do one step a day for 30 days in a row until the list is done, or until the 30 days are done, okay? You can do that. Compromise. You do it for other people. Why wouldn't you do it for your dream, for your gift, for who you are? You know what I mean? Next, I want to tell you something very important. Your gift is always something very simple that can be expanded later. So for example, Beyonce sings, Oprah asks questions, Nigella cooks, Meryl Streep pretends to be someone else, Gabriel Medina surfs, Bruno Mars sings and dances. It's always something very, very basic, He surfs, he sings, he dances. It's something small and you expand as much as you want. So this is a great tip. This is a great way of explaining why you don't need to search so far away from your body to find your gifts and talents. It's inside you, the things that are the easiest. Do you run? Do you walk? Do you talk? Do you sing? Do you cook? what do you do? What do you do? This is your gifts and talents. And if you use this in service of something greater than yourself, then you know that you're expanding and accomplishing your soul mission. You see how things are simple. We make them hard, but they are really not. To make it bigger, you have to want it. Because it's not going to happen from the day to night. You know, a celebrity not necessarily is fulfilling their soul mission. They're just famous. They're being clicked at every moment in their lives, but not necessarily your gift is going to bring you fame or celebrity profile, celebrity status, if you're doing it in a great way. I know a lot of people who work in hospitals who are doing it every day and no one knows about it, and they are touching millions of lives, you know? So I'll leave you with that today. I hope this helps. You let me know if it did. Much love from yours truly, the Cape Witch.